They've won 27 straight. Let's freaking go. One game. That is all it takes. One more game. Uno games from LSU winning another national championship. And as excited as I am about LSU football, and as excited as I am about the future of LSU women's basketball, I have got to say that the hire of Jay Johnson could be one of the best SEC coaching hires in any sport. I want to talk about Jay tonight. And Coastal Carolina talking all that trash heading into this game. But we have got to talk about Cade Anderson. What a freaking performance when we needed him the most from a situation, I guess you could say, where Coastal Carolina came in winning 26 consecutive games. And normally when a pitcher has a game like this, going back to Gage Wood with Arkansas, that will always be the pitching performance that people remember. This game was so big because all the bad breaks were going against LSU in this game. I was ready to fly from New York City here all the way to Omaha, Nebraska, just so I could punch that freaking Uncle Sam looking first base coach who wouldn't get the freak out of the way when he had plenty of time to get out of the way. I don't care what anyone says. That should be an automatic base for Monster Milam, and we should have had a 2-0 lead. But I digress. You had that bad break go against you. But on top of all of that, this was a phenomenal fielding game from LSU as well, with Michael Braswell making a very difficult play late in that game where he was moving to his left and throwing across his body to get that runner at first. So a great pitching performance, also a great fielding performance from LSU. We could talk about the bats. Obviously, it felt like Jared Jones was going to come through there in that eighth inning. He always comes through in the later innings, it seems like, whether it's Tennessee or Arkansas, but he grounds into that double play. We could talk about the hitting all we want, but the truth is I am more an LSU fan than I am an LSU analyst, and we are one freaking game away from winning the College World Series. I want to thank all of our partners. I want to thank Fanatics. I'm here at Fanatics Fest. This has been an absolutely awesome experience. Had the very good opportunity to meet Malik Neighbors, and that was incredible. You guys know how much I freaking love Malik Neighbors, and it was really cool, really freaking cool. And my dad's with me. It's cool to get to have these experiences. We got to watch a baseball game together. He got to meet Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson today. So that's why I'm in New York City. There is a piece of me, though, that wishes I was in Omaha, Nebraska, celebrating with all of my fellow LSU fans. But the bottom line is I was glued from start to finish in this game. And the guy that I just keep going back to, the guy that always answers the bell in the biggest games, Monster Milam, the single up the middle to really get us going, to give us our only run in this game. What a performance. What an overall team performance. You got to be able to win in many different ways. And honestly, this is, and we're going to get to all your comments here in just a second. One more thing about Jay Johnson, okay? By the way, type Y for yes, type in for no if you can hear me loud and clear, all right? One thing I want to say is there are a lot of coaches that would have made an analytically sound decision to bench Michael Braswell. This is the worst hitting we have ever really seen from an LSU starter in a College World Series. And even Michael Braswell sitting here today will tell you him batting .011 is not good. It's beyond putrid or whatever the number is. It's under .025 now. But in the College World Series, with the way this ballpark plays and with how we see these games being decided, you always keep the better fielder in. Michael Braswell is a better fielder. Tanner Reeves, I don't know a whole lot about Tanner Reeves. He's not as good of a fielder as Michael Braswell. Now, if he was freaking Alex Rodriguez as far as the hitter, then yeah, if he was that much better of a hitter, you would play him over Michael Braswell. But, you know, that play late in the game when you really needed it, when the pitch count was in the hundreds, it was so big. I mean, it really was that big. And outside of that one hit that Monster Milam had, that was, to me, the second biggest play of this game. Obviously, some controversial calls mixed in there. With bad refereeing or bad umpiring, we can talk and it get into a slippery slope about, well, this should have happened or that should have happened. That call should have been made. That call should have been made. The umpires were not in LSU's favor tonight. Obviously, the unlucky bounce, I made fun of that first base umpire earlier. You do need to get the freak out of the way. But the big thing, of course, is the ball strike count was, I felt like the umpire's zone was consistent enough. You guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the Daniel Dickinson overturn was bad. I do think that was bad. I don't think he obviously dipped some, but it's kind of like one of those things where in basketball, if a player gets fouled, but also kind of sort of sells it, it's still a foul, right? Even though Daniel Dickinson, even though he might have dipped just a little bit with his elbow, it's still a hit by pitch. Okay. So it is what it is. All right. Trey says, please don't let tomorrow be this close. My heart can't take it. Let's go to Yusha. I might get the chance to meet Yusha tomorrow in New York City. Actually, we are going to make that happen tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Cherry Berry, good to see you. We're going to get to every single one of your comments. Once again, we're going to get to your super chats and all of this. I just can't freaking believe that Jay Johnson is quite literally one freaking win away from winning his second College World Series in 3 years. Like, this is ridiculous. And even going back to last year, that North Carolina regional, I mean, we fought our asses off with the team that shouldn't even have really gotten that far, knowing how we started the season. And then, of course, winning it all. This roster is just, it feels so different. Like, I don't think that 1 through 9 order would have only put up one run tonight. That lineup was just so much more loaded than this lineup. But it does feel that this team is a little bit more, I would say, deeper. I don't think deeper really applies because that other team in 2023 was deep. But this is a team of a bunch of guys who do a lot of different things well that can win you baseball games outside of doing the most important thing outside of pitching, which is hitting and hitting for power, right? Obviously, Bear Jones is a pure power hitter. Hernandez has some pop. There's some other guys that do, but this team is just gritty. They just find ways to win games. Some maybe very complex ways of winning games, like the Arkansas game a few days ago. But this team with its 1-2 pitching combo of Hernandez and then Anderson, and now you have Ianson, it's just phenomenal. It really is. Shout out, and I want to say this before we get to more of your questions. Bo Curiel, the dog. It has gotten hotter in Omaha, and I love the fact that the dog still gets to go. I think it should be a rule that every player's dogs should have to attend the game. This is not a Kirk Herbstreit situation. I don't think they're showing the dog too much, but I need more Bo Curiel, okay? Jay would be only the third coach in LSU history in all sports with 2 natties. That's interesting. Who would the other coaches be? Obviously, Skip Bertman, and the other would be who would it be? The track and field coach? Let me think. Not Jay Clark. He's won 1. There's not one in football, obviously. Not one in basketball. Men's or women's. Let's go to Jesse. He says the low part of the zone was bad. So Jesse's correcting me here. Jesse? You find a moment like that. Yeah, okay, so the track and field coach makes sense. Who was Dennis Shaver? Isn't that it? Dwayne says the best ERA in LSU's history, winning with pitching and defense. Yeah, I mean, I know it's cliche, but baseball's a cliche sport. So many different ways you can skin the cat. There you go. Here's what we're going to do. I kind of want to go move this live stream. I'm very fortunate to get to stay in a hotel here. Trust me, I PHL is successful. I do not have the funds to stay at a hotel like this. I am at the W outside of Times Square. If y'all want to get wild, I found a Georgia and a Florida fan yesterday, and they gave me the best interview of all time for a YouTube project I'm working on. I kind of want to take the stream down to Times Square. Why not? Let's. That was Jeff Head? There's no way that was Jeff Head, dude. Okay. There's just been too much snike with Jeff Head. There was a few of you that, because you guys know I am an announcer snob. All right. So the first couple of innings, I watched on my phone in a restaurant for dessert. Once again, I didn't have my phone out the entire time. It was just for the start of the baseball game and at the end of our dessert tonight. And yes, I went against my diet. Y'all don't hate. I didn't have the volume on loud, or I didn't have it on at all, really. But a lot of you said you felt like the announcers were cheering for Coastal Carolina, which is kind of strange to me. I don't think that they were. I love this announcing team. I do. Chris Burke and KP, I like them a lot. Obviously, Monster Mile, the only multi-hitter for LSU. It was interesting. The analytic guys would bring up that they had about as many base runners as we did Coastal, but only 3 hits. As you can see here, the bottom line, this was the most boring game in the world if you are a fan of hitting. But to me, I feel tomorrow's game, which will be a 2 p.m. first pitch, I do feel Jay Johnson needs to keep the lineup the same. That would be what I would do. I don't think he's going to take Braswell out unless you need a pinch hit, and then you could put whoever in there. I thought it was also interesting tonight to move Jake Brown in the cleanup spot there. Obviously, it's always a big decision when you keep a guy like Josh Pearson on the bench in a game where he has college World Series experience. But, we'll see tomorrow. I know nothing about Coastal Carolina's pitching staff. I know he likes to have Pearson in versus left-handed pitching or whatever, but we'll see what he decides to do. But man, it feels really, really freaking good that my favorite freaking team of all time, the LSU Tigers, are on the brink of winning another freaking national championship. It is crazy. Pierce coming in hot. Cade Anderson doesn't know where Coastal Carolina is located because he just wiped them off the freaking map. That's one way to look at it. Here's the thing. And I read this when I was flying here for this event. They said Cade Anderson was there was a quote he said that was taken out of context where he said he doesn't know where Coastal Carolina is on the map. Okay. This is someone that used to do radio in South Carolina. All right. A lot of people in South Carolina don't know where a lot of the North and South Carolina schools are located. Literally, I did a radio segment when I was doing radio in South Carolina, and it was shocking how many people did not freaking know where East Carolina was located. Because when I did the show that day, I kind of went blank on where Eastern Carolina, the Fighting Pirates, are located. All right. So it's not like just out of the ordinary. Furman is located in the Carolinas. Do you know which Carolina they're in? So it's like common, right? But I felt what the Coastal Carolina players did. I wasn't too offended by them saying, well, there's not really a whole lot to like about LSU. We're just focused on beating them. Whatever the quote was that they said. I don't think that that's too bad because that should be their focus. Hell, they only lost by 1 run tonight. They're still a really good team. But it was very interesting going into this game that Coastal Carolina was talking the level of shit that they were talking. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Going up against a team that has won 7 national championships, one that won one in 2023, that still has players from that team, coaches from that team on its staff. And you thought it was a good idea, the fans, to talk the trash that they were going to talk going into this game. And I tweeted about it quite a bit. I was like, this is a lot of shit talking. A lot. I don't give a damn y'all beat Kramer Robertson in 2017. Kramer doesn't give, well, he still does care, but nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn you won 26 straight. Nobody. If you want to really care about a baseball team that's won games consecutively, how about we celebrate one that actually did get the damn job done in the LSUS, getting it done in 59 straight games. Crazy. Coastal was just talking too much shit. And look, I might be talking too much shit. We might blow these next 2 games. I doubt it. Because they got to get over Anthony Ianson with the full bullpen, with our bats having not done anything. It would be a miracle. Cade Anderson is an LSU legend, only the 3rd complete game thrown in Men's College World Series history since its current format in like 2003. It is crazy. And one thing, Rick, that's kind of lost, and it's just kind of lost, is that this performance was so damn good that it will overshadow what he did versus Arkansas in the first game. where he pretty much sat him up, sat him down. Now, he wasn't as dominant. Obviously, there was some rockiness. But look, I'll say this. This will come off super sour. This will come off as trampling over or beating a dead horse or whatever. And I got threatened to get kicked out of my Arkansas group chat the other day. It happens. They'll probably see this and think about it again. What he's done in these 2 games is more impressive than Gage Wood. Sorry. I'll say it. Clip it, call it a hater, whatever you want to call it. 2 really good games. And then you get one in the actual finals. All right. Now, Gage Wood is going to do what he's going to do and be successful in whatever he does next. 19 strikeouts. That was absolutely crazy. But Cade Anderson, this, you can make a case, this is one of the best College World Series performances ever. And one thing I will say that they both have in common is they were playing for the home state school. Okay. Let's get to Sam and John's Super Chats. A classic baseball game. One of the most dynamic games the Tigers have played. Casey at the bat, just cross your legs, chew, spit, and scratch. Enjoy this classic. Man, here's the weird thing about it, Sibley, and I kind of felt this way, as Sam points out, Joe Burrow, who I saw in the flesh today. Also saw Jaden Daniels in the flesh today. You have a football LSU legendary addiction like I do. When you get the opportunity to see Jaden in the flesh, I got to watch Jaden Daniels today it was essentially a lecture, but he did like a little conversation. Listen how cool this was. Jaden Daniels was interviewed by Taylor Rooks. All right. And I know this is a mostly male chat. I know the males would have been more than excited to see Taylor Rooks next to Jaden Daniels. But also up there, was Joe Montana and Dan Marino. And I couldn't pass up that opportunity when this opportunity was presented to me. So got to see that. I got to see Tom Brady, Victor Wembanyama, and LeBron James doing the interview. That was pretty cool too. And I'm not even like big fans of any of those 3, but it was dope. But I do think that comparison is apt. The only difference, and Cade Anderson's great. He's absolutely great. Actually, I don't know. I mean, Cade doing what he's done in the postseason, you can make a case is Jaden level. Like if you factor that in with the regular season, I would say Jaden's like regular season was better than Cade's, but honestly, they're neck and neck if you include what Cade Anderson has done in the postseason. But yeah, I think this is a fair comparison. Paul Skeens to Joe Burrow, Caden to JD5. I like it. I do. Type Y for yes, type in for no if you can hear me loud and clear. Once again, the audio is going to sound a little bit different. I kind of want to take my phone and take all down to Times Square. It'd be pretty cool. Celebrate. Do a shot with somebody down there. Shout out from the Truman fam. Good to see you. It was a great game. C. Hardy, good to see you. Once again, big thanks to our partners, Zion Imaging, the 360 Spin Booth Experience, our Patreon page, patreon.com/LSU football. Once again, as we get closer to football season, we are still building our PHL sponsorship packages and what all we're going to be doing for our partners. We're also shooting commercials for you guys as well. Just hit me up, powerhourlsu@gmail.com, or just hit me up at powerhourlsu on Instagram or Twitter if you want to be a part of our fam. Okay, so you guys disagreed that the umpires was never I guess I'm just more lenient on umpires than most. Y'all strongly disagreed with me on that. Hey, Dr. Morgan, good to see you. Please tell my favorite number 0 I said hello. Odd Future said the game wasn't boring to him. To a neutral, it's boring. But if you're a diehard baseball fan, you liked what you saw tonight. If you are an LSU fan, you liked what you saw tonight. But for the most part, people like hitting. Mike wants to see Coastal go to and barbecue. Let's go. Marcus, I appreciate you, man. Shirt was given to me by actually the biggest baseball fan on PHO, my guy Jordan. Show enough. Shout out to you. Next thing, I want to talk about one thing that I felt was a really good jolt in the LSU locker room was when Coach Jordan, Josh Jordan, was rumored to be the next coach at Duke. Obviously, I want, in particular in baseball, the assistant coaches to get head coaching jobs. Baseball, there's not as much generational money as there is in the other sports that you coach at the collegiate level. I was rooting for him to get that job. But selfishly, you want your coaching staff, the way they were winning, to stay intact. You don't want anyone to get new jobs. And then, obviously, if he would have left, he would have probably brought a few of our other assistants. But the fact that they went in a different direction, I felt really gave LSU a jolt in the arm. I read a few of the interviews from the players saying that they were excited that the coach is coming back, an assistant coach is coming back. Also, that guy is really good at pumping the team up on social media. I don't know enough about the inner workings of what he does day to day to say like he does this or does that or whatever, but I'm really excited he's coming back. And I do feel that was nice. I always feel icky every Super Bowl or every just big game when the coordinators in that game, and it happens every year, they've already accepted another job, right? Sometimes those coaches do well, like Kellen Moore in this last Super Bowl. Sometimes they don't, like Jonathan Gannon in the Super Bowl a few years ago. So there you go. Scott wants me to do a deep dive on the umpires. I will not do that. I'm sorry. I know my limitations. That is, I do the deep dives on football. I rarely do baseball post games, but you guys know when natties are around, we got to step up. I wasn't planning on doing this. Tip your hat to Arkansas? Yeah, Sibley. They're a great team. But they just ran into the best team. Let's go to J-Red and Alabama. Good to see you. All right. A few more things from tonight's game. I feel that a big Ethan Fry game is coming up. Now, we can get into that last strike 3 call when the bat was checked. I mean, come on. Did he really swing? I don't know. I would like to have seen a replay. But no, he had the big games in the regionals. That's where he's really been big for us, and he was DHing tonight. I just feel there's a big one coming from the Rain Man. Okay. Let's go, Scott. He says one freaking win. It's just crazy. One win away. One freaking win away. Ooh. What a freaking snake. I hope Coastal Carolina's coach does that. Oh, man. I freaking hope. Let's go to Bodacious. Kate Anderson, an absolute legend. Yeah, when I was thinking of the best all-time big game defensive performances, obviously pitching is a different way of describing defense. Pitching in a way is actually offense if you really think about it. But it felt Patrick Queenish, right, in the national championship where he just kept making play after play after play. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm not smart enough to tell you what he really did, but the thing that was very interesting was how in control he was from start to finish. And I do think it is a little different because he dreamed of playing for LSU. He dreamed of it. Now, what's fascinating about it is he could play these two immaculate games and still not actually win it all, right? Baseball is a weird sport where your best players can play their absolute best. Your stars play their absolute best. And Kate Anderson's best player on this team, and you still not win. The Dodgers beat the Yankees going away in the World Series last year, and Shohei didn't really do anything, and Clayton Kershaw didn't do anything. So it's a weird sport. I will say the perfect encapsulation of this was before the game, Wahiva Aloy of Arkansas getting the Player of the Year when he made the biggest mistake this year in college baseball, which I think it was. I've gone back and forth on it. I do think his mistake was bigger than the left fielder making a mistake on a slippery outfield grass. I will also say that is the most rock hard shoulder I've ever seen. Whatever that Arkansas outfielder's shoulder is made out of, let me know. I'm putting that on top of my car next time it hails, whatever that object is made out of. It's crazy. Scott wants to talk about Monster Milam, MVP after Kate Anderson in my mind. I mean, I think you'd have to give it to him. He's been our most consistent player. He's made a big play in every game. The Arkansas ending is kind of where he was involved in the Arkansas ending, but should have been in a bad way and ended up being in a good way. That play he made in the first inning of that Arkansas game, the Derek Jeter slide into the hole, and then cross diamond throw to get him out, is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's go to Pierce. He said, I loved Fournette, PQ, and other LSU alums all tweeting about the game. Yeah. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And they'll be doing it for women's basketball next year when we win that mother effing title. I will also say, and this, I'm about to say the most hater thing I have ever said here on PHL, okay? That Matt McMahon, Shaquille O'Neal video. Just there's something missing. I don't know what that is. I don't know. But there was something missing from that video. Something. Okay. You go through I did want to dive a little bit deeper into Coastal's performance in this game. They did hit a few balls, I guess you could say, on the screws. Obviously, they had that double early in the game that was really well hit down the left field line. They had a few other kind of sort of foul outs. But honestly, Cade was just so freaking good. Like, it's just insane. I also felt the crowd played a huge role. And the weird thing about it was, like, I was not nervous. Like, in that ninth inning, I was like, this is about to be an incineration of Coastal Carolina. And it was, obviously. Once again, Braswell's play was huge. But, kind of a weird game with the umpire deflection. I have no idea how that is not like a common sense. You get a base on that. Big dog. Kate Anderson did the doggone thing. Struggles on offense, but big defensive plays from the Bras. I think it's going to be interesting. So, kind of a weird postseason for Heinsohn. His last outing, he got cut off. He was an LSU frat dude at Fred's at 1:58 in the morning. Cut off before you wanted to be cut off. Well, your time to shine. And the 40-ish pitches, and now here we are. Obviously, the West Virginia game wasn't like his best either, but we tore the cover off the ball there. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. I think he's going to come out and do really well. I do. Just an LSU super fan? I guess you could say that. I think I've given some fair praise to Coastal Carolina. I don't think I've put my nose up to them. I've not said one joke about them not being a P4. I mean, they are, to me, I think these are the two best teams. I do. And then, do I think Arkansas is better than Coastal? Yeah, but that comes off to SEC bias. Am I still a Bama fan? That's a good question. I have been accused on multiple occasions. I don't even remember what the last thing when I said that made people really mad when I praised Alabama. I don't know what it was. I think I said something nice about Saban or something nice about Mark Ingram, who most LSU fans probably like, if we're being honest. But there you go. Let's go to Brian. He says, Nate Yeski deserves an apology. He does. And, obviously, it's one of those things where you say, Nate Yeski deserves credit for Kane Anderson, which he does, right? He's their coach. But where you really make your money as a coach is building up the non-superstars, right? And for Shores and Evans and a few of the role-playing pitchers to play the way that they've played is huge. Now, I understand there's plenty of people that wanted a guy like Schmidt to be better. I mean, yeah, not every pitcher is going to be what you want him to be, right? But I do feel Nate Yeski is really good. When at the end of our victory versus West Virginia, when Colin Baton Rouge was played, he said, turn that shit up. I love it. Or I think that was at the end of the Euler game. It could have been. I don't know. But Nate freaking Yeski is that guy. I love it. Oh, Big Dex wants me to go to Cat's Delicatessen. Let's go. I might talk my dad into us going to Cat's tomorrow. I've actually never eaten in Cat's Delicatessen, home of the best pastrami sandwich I've ever had. Let's see, what have we had in New York? I've been so busy doing what I've needed to do at the festival I'm at. Haven't really been able to go out in New York. That's the thing when you go to a city and you're going for like a convention center kind of event, which is what I'm doing here. You don't really get to experience the city. All right. So, I think all the LSU guys that I wanted to see, I was told a few weeks ago I'd have a chance to meet Malik Neighbors. And I've actually never met Malik Neighbors before. I had to do it before he becomes too famous and he doesn't have to do any appearances. So outside of course, what he has to do for the Giants and stuff like that. That's why I came up here. It was mostly to do the Malik Neighbors thing. It was really cool. Told him how much that dude means to our channel. We've given out so many Malik autograph cards. I honestly don't own any more Malik Neighbors autographs. I gave them all out. And I wasn't able to get him to sign the T-shirt. The PHL T-shirt that Joe Burrow, Patrick Queen, Dre Jenkins, Michaela Williams have all signed. Maybe we see him in New York City tomorrow. Kevin says, what's up with all the gray hair? What's funny? So tomorrow, I got to go back and do a few more things at the festival. It's like the best sports day tomorrow for PHL. My viewers, a good chunk of you do like the NBA. So we get a Game 7 and a Game 2 in the College World Series back-to-back. So it's going to be a great sports day. It's going to be a great, great, great sports day. Mackenzie wants to know who won. Mackenzie, sorry to tell you. It was the Tennessee Volunteers. Yes, Tony Vitello got the W tonight. No, I'm kidding. It was the LSU Tigers got the job done. Here's one thing I will say, Scott, and you have that super long-ass bill. I'll never forget you. I better see you during football season. Like, I really, 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 really hate what I'm about to say, all right? Because baseball, when I watch a baseball broadcast, I sometimes feel it could be a little too stat heavy, right? So, true story. I was watching the game on my phone, all right? So we walk in, from our dinner, we walk back, and I turn the TV on, and it's the Mets game. It was the first thing that popped up on this TV right here, all right? And Juan Soto was up to the plate, and I was like, okay, I'll watch a game on my phone because I want to watch Juan Soto bat. I never sit and watch baseball, but it's on here. I know what Cade Anderson's doing to the Coastal Carolina. Let me see what Juan Soto does. He hits a home run. He absolutely smoked the ball. It's one of the longest home runs I've ever seen. Okay. So he hits a home run, and there's like 30 different stats on my screen. Launch angle, exit velocity, flashy lights, and stuff like that. And I know they do it on the college broadcast, but it is culture shock watching a major league game and watching a college game, which is, to me, just a little bit more majestic, the college game. However, the college game needs a K-zone. All right? And the reason why I don't think ESPN, which has over 40 cameras at this game, and some of the smartest analysts in this game, the reason why they don't do a K-zone is because, well, I think you guys can figure this out, especially considering, in particular, Sherry and a few others that commented earlier, you guys strongly disagreed with what I had to say about the umpire in the strike zone. I thought it wasn't as bad, but a lot of you disagreed, and that's fine, okay? What I will say is I would like a K-zone. I really would like a K-zone on the college game so we could put all of this to rest. But we're not going to get it. Let's go shove it. Simply, you super chatted. And their next comment is, America is at war, so everyone keep their heads up. No, that is, obviously it is a very serious topic, but what are we keeping our heads up for? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what do you want us to do? I'm serious. But I am praying for our country and people that are currently fighting for us. Not political though. I'm not. I'm the worst person to ask this question to. Let's go to Sacco. What's up, man? Yeah, they're not going to put a K zone up there. They're not. Yeah. Remember 9/11. This will be the first New York trip where I don't go to the 9/11 memorial. It really is beautiful. For anyone that's never experienced New York City, you've got to go. The first thing you need to do is go to the 9/11 exhibit. It really is cool. It is chilling. Yeah, this is how I felt. Oh, and welcome to the channel 11C_Army NG. That's how I felt. I feel exactly the same way. Bats need to come alive tomorrow. I agree with you. I think they will for both teams. And why do I feel like that? Well, I just do. I also feel like Coastal Carolina is going to rope a few. You don't win as many games as they've won, and us shut them out 2 consecutive games. I just don't think that's going to happen. So Skipper in the Discord said, "Hey, the strike zone was all over the place." I know. I guess I feel the same as the Army. I'm just so used to the college umps being very inconsistent that I just let it go. So I guess that's on me. I'll take the L on that. Tony the Tiger, good to see you. I'll take a few more. Let's go to James. I touched on it a little bit earlier. What do I think about the hit by pitch with Daniel Dickinson? Okay. I don't like bailing out the pitcher in that spot. I really, really, really don't. And this is why, okay? It is way harder to hit a baseball than it is to pretty much do anything else in sports. It is the hardest thing. And I will say, I didn't witness this in person, but it did happen at Fanatics Fest earlier today. It is amazing over the past couple of weeks how many instances of elite pro athletes of many different positions failing spectacularly at baseball. All right. Like spectacularly. While on the other hand, you see college baseball players throw the football around before the game. Now they're not out there looking like prime Johnny Unitas out there or Patrick Mahomes, but they look fine, right? Other athletes, when they try to play actual baseball, look like they have no athleticism at all. All right. There's plenty of recent examples of this. Taylor Lewan, multiple time Pro Bowl offensive tackle, goes to throw the first pitch at I think the Reds game, throws it into basically the on deck circle. Caleb Williams threw one of the worst pitches you will ever see. Then Joe Burrow today, our sacred saint, could not throw pitches today. He really struggled doing it. And then the LSU baseball players went to go hit at Alec Box Stadium. 2 of the most athletic guys on the team, Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas, couldn't even hold the bat. Now, once again, it was just clips. I didn't get to see all of it. They could not hold the bat through a swing. It was literally just flying out of their hands. Okay? It is Like, this shit is so hard. This shit is so hard. What they're doing. It's crazy. So I say all of that because actually hitting a baseball is hard. All right. The pitcher has so many advantages over the hitter. Okay. It's just the hitters have become so good at hitting just straight strikes that balls are just all over the zone, whatever. So in the college game, you think the hitters have the bigger advantages because they have the metal bats, right? But I just think it's the opposite. I just think in the college game, there's so many, most would say it's the opposite because the pitch clock is there. I think pitchers have adjusted to it, right? Which is good for the game. I know a lot of you don't like that, but the pitchers have wider strike zones. They did an interview with the Arkansas first baseman, and their coaching staff said that the Arkansas, as a first baseman catcher, Helfrich, there was like 150 to 200 strikes that should have been called balls. But because the catchers are so good at framing pitches now, you call them all strikes. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So my thing is, if you dip a little in the batter's box, I think it's noble that a batter is trying to get hit by an object that could drastically change the outcome of your life. I know Dickinson had a freaking halo shield on his left arm, but he should have gotten the base. But yes, I will say I've never played golf. Baseball is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Seriously. Like, I sucked at a lot of different sports naturally. It took me a very long time to get good at baseball. A very, very long time. I put in a lot of work, which sometimes I feel is wasted because I ended up doing anything in baseball. It is so hard. It is so hard. Let's go to Free Woo. He says the hit by pitch is just a bad rule. I understand why it's there and what the design is, but it's just a bad rule, almost like the targeting rule. 90%, it hurts what it's supposed to help. Yeah, there we go. All right, here's what we're going to do. Next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can. If you super chat, we'll get it going. Keep it going. I kind of want to walk down Times Square again. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, it's a Cuban? Let's go, Joseph. Dude, I'm so pro K-zone in the college game. I hate it in the pro game. I just think it's just too much. But K-zones are starting to become like the first down line in football. Like, it's weird when you don't see it. Now, I don't watch a whole lot of MLB, but a lot of my MLB guys want the K-zone in college. Okay? Jamie, welcome. Good to see you. Van says Coastal had batters hit by pitch in 88% of their games. They admit they coach getting it. I'll give their coach a lot of credit. What's his name? Blake something. I don't remember. I listened to him give like an interview of like how he views baseball, and it's interesting. He tells his guys, we got to make sure we win the big innings. We also want to have the biggest inning of the game. And he shared some very specific things he's trying to do over the course of a game. And you could see some of them throughout the game. I highly recommend you go listen. It's like a 2-minute clip of what he wants his guys to focus in on. And you can see why Coastal's won 26 consecutive games. But here's the thing Coastal Carolina doesn't understand is that Isaiah Likely is not walking through that door. He's not. And that is the only athlete I could think of from Coastal Carolina off the top of my head. Call me a casual all you want. But the shots ain't doing shot versus these LS freaking U Tigers. Cade Anderson said, I am your daddy. Let's go, Cade. I do want to shout out this guy. I feel like every postseason there is a viral LSU fan. And I think you guys all know who I'm talking about. I contemplated keeping this guy up on the screen the entire time. Okay? I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. Everything about this screams Point Capee Parish. Everything. All the way down to the screen printed unlicensed jersey. I love it. Oh, it's jersey number, is that 47? Is that number 47? Oh man. There could be a few names on the back of that jersey. And I hope it's white on the back of that jersey. The legendary Tommy Tanks. God, I love this guy. Really, in the comments section right now, what town in Louisiana is he from? You guys got to let me know. Pierce says, shout out Brian Thomas Jr. That's a Walker High alum. You can hear him say, come on, baby. He said, what let's see. Yeah, let's go, Tigers. Come on, baby. Oh, man. Mamu, let's go. Only a guy. Oh, man. This is a custom. Like he's got his. The thing I like about this is he has his reading glasses off. You see right there? Let's go. Nothing better than that, man. What a freaking day. What a freaking day. Oh, man. I just can't believe it. I do want to get one football thing. I love that Jay Johnson does this after every game that they win. One and 0. One run ready. It's crazy. So at the Tom Brady thing today, there's Tom Brady, LeBron James, and Victor Wembanyama. And then LeBron James' business partners were on the stage with him, Paul Rivera and Maverick Carter. Okay. But they had a sixth guy up there, and it was Kai Cenat. And he is a streamer. He's 23 years old. All right. So he did what any 23-year-old would do on stage, who is a streamer. And he's famous. He's very famous. He said, y'all, forgive me for glazing, but Tom freaking Brady and LeBron James is on stage with me right now. I laugh so freaking hard because, fellas, it's okay in a few instances to glaze your sports heroes. Okay, don't glaze too hard. Like, I will criticize Jay Johnson from time to time. I try not to because baseball is just not my level of expertise like some of the other sports. But yeah, this is I'm a Jay Johnson glazer. I do if I the dude just freaking knows what the hell he's doing, man. Dude, he knows what the hell he's doing. Like, if Jay Johnson was being interviewed on here right now, I wouldn't ask him a single question of any level of criticism because I just think that guy, more often than not, makes the right decision. He's so freaking good at doing this job, building the program, the recruiting, the NIL stuff. And NIL's not big at baseball, but it is something at LSU. The constant recruiting and interviews, the way he will berate his coaches, his players, but do so respectfully. But really, the most important thing is the guy just knows how to manage a freaking game. Okay? And, this could backfire spectacularly. It can backfire, and I get old takes exposed until the end of time. Coastal is a very good team. The next 2 days can get dicey. But, dude, it feels like another coach who once was here at LSU, and he did not coach baseball, and he won one natty here in a sport that we care about a lot. And I won't say that name because it is the name synonymous for the best college coach of all time in any sport. But it feels like he's that guy. Okay? No matter what Tennessee fans will tell you, no matter what Texas fans will tell you, Jay is just that guy, man. Like, literally, he knows how to build a team. He knows how to build a lineup. And he goes and gets the guys that will take our programs to the next level. Chris Stanfield coming in from Auburn, Derek Curriell having the season that he's had. When you think that, like, the all-time best LSU teams, especially the modern era, they had outfielders that you felt could play like high-level college football. There was Leon Landry, Mikey Matuk, Jared Mitchell actually did play college football. I mean, these dudes were freaking athletic. And Derek Curriell is so freaking athletic. Chris Stanfield covers so much ground. And that level of athleticism just boosts your team profile. Okay? Like, Jay is really freaking good at this. And I've gone back and forth on this with LSU because if I did not think Jay Johnson was a elite coach, I would want the parameters for the rules of college baseball to remain the same, right? Which is the 11.7 scholarship rule. Because if I know that my coach can out-recruit and out-develop and stuff like that, he doesn't need all this extra talent. But when they stretch out the scholarships, more teams will have more opportunities to field more players. I don't know. I've gone back and forth on it, what the best thing for LSU would be. Because since Jay has done such a good job recruiting and all of that and building teams, building rosters, his coaching advantage is bigger at an 11.7 number than it is at a theoretical 30-plus number. D-Box heading to the game. Oh, you're watching from a plane. Let's go, bro. You're gonna love it, man. If you've never been to Omaha, you're gonna freaking love it, man. It is the best sporting event on the planet. For me, or at least I think so. It's been a while since I've been, but it's literally some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Taylor Rooks did repost me on her Instagram story, so shout out to you, Taylor. You always have an invite here on PHL. It's crazy. So one of my friends, so Mac, good to see you, a longtime classmate, my brother. So my classmate, my friend has the most expensive Jaden Daniels cards in the world. And his name's Roth. I don't know Roth well, but he and his friend Jacob let me hold his Jaden Daniels card that he had valued at like $250,000. And I just got sent a clip that Roth sold that card to the owner of the Commanders for $500,000. That just went down an hour ago. Someone just sent me that clip. That's crazy. A Jaden Daniels card went for $500K. That is a lot of freaking money. I got to hold it earlier today. I got to tweet something out about it right now. That is insane. Also, something else is I'm not a fan of wrestling, but the rest, like, you got to think these are the biggest sports stars on the planet Earth are here. Literally. Outside of like Messi, Ronaldo, but like if you're a big football, in particular football star, you're at this event, and a lot of baseball guys are here too, baseball legends. The wrestlers are the biggest freaking stars here, man. Like literally, the wrestling fans are insane. Okay, not. I'm doing a new like kind of YouTube project while I'm here. I interviewed a wrestling fan earlier today. He legitimately believes that Andre Iguodala is the best NBA player of all time, and I did not take any more of his NBA takes. Okay, because they don't believe in things that are real. And it made sense if you think Andre Iguodala is the best NBA player of all time. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's an interesting one from Seth. I'm not as good at Seth as taking the Facebook comments. But this is actually a Facebook message to the Power Hour LSU YouTube page. Why doesn't Ben McDonald call the finals? Well, he's just not the number one team. Personally, I like Ben. I like him the best. But Kyle Peterson and Chris Burke are great too. They're really good. Okay. You shouldn't really ever complain about so and so not calling something unless they're bad. Okay. Like, there are guys that I prefer calling games than others, as long as you're not bad. Let's see. $130 pitches tonight. Insane. Insane. That's just absolutely insane, dude. All right, y'all. That'll do it for me. I'm so weird being on the Eastern time zone. Let's go to Tandy Line. The game cut out on YouTube in the 8th inning. Did we win? I know we did not win. Kidding. We won. Chance, it's good. Yeah, we're close up and personal. No, I'm just in a hotel. I don't try and be too loud. I was kind of loud earlier. Let's go to Lewaski. PJ will more than likely be an outside corner. I'm open to him potentially playing some nickel. But we'll see. Let's see. All right, that'll do it for me. Once again, special shout out to Zion Imaging and the 360 spin booth experience. Okay. We will not be live tomorrow after Sunday's game unless, I don't know, I might be so freaking hyped that it might not matter. Yeah, Dwayne, it is interesting. So I did learn today that LeBron's fans are insane. Like, dude, they are so unfreaking believably insane. Now you might not, you wouldn't think that. You would think LeBron is just like really hated because he is very public. But LeBron stands are crazy. Dude, they are a different breed. I met some of them today. Dude, like, bronze sexual is a real thing. Like, the Braun glazing is crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like, I wouldn't call myself a Braun glazer, but if I was in Kai Cenat's spot and I was a 23-year-old, like, the only NBA that Kai Cenat even has witnessed has featured LeBron James in some capacity. Like, he doesn't know the NBA without LeBron. Crazy. I did almost trade all the cards that I have here for a rare Jaden Daniels card earlier today. I'm leaving on Monday. Oh, Mike Trout, Landon coming in hot, was committed to Coastal Carolina. Let's go. I love it. That's dope as hell. All right, y'all. We will see you tomorrow. Shout out to you, Kate Anderson. Shout out to the LSU baseball team. Obviously, I didn't get to Bear Jones. It was another brutal night from him. 4 at-bats, 3 Ks, and a double play, like the most tailor-made double play ball. But, you don't win the Arkansas game without him. The bat is just so potent. And I know the first game versus Arkansas was 0 for 5 with all the Ks, but I don't really think, like, obviously he's not going to take him out now, but when he's on, he's winning you baseball games, and it's just that simple. Cole, it's good. Chris Jones, that's a crazy profile photo. That's insane. Big thanks to our top super chatters of the evening, Mr. Sibley and Mr. Sam. I appreciate both of you, okay? We will talk to you guys soon. It is Power Hour, LSU. Boom. Tonight, we are doing sushi. Let's go.